Everybody had their own specialty. When you wanted a wild line, something off the wall, Mel Brooks, he would come in with it. If you wanted very fancy dialogue and really sharp dialogue, men like Larry Gelbart. Oh, Larry Gelbart was a guy that, marvelous writer, absolutely. They all had their own fields. And Larry was a very hip writer. He used to write he wrote a thing for me called, with all of us, but he was his idea, Progress Hornsby, the hip musician. He was a hip musician. He was way out. I had my hair combed down here and very out here. He said, "Good evening, Progress Hornsby." "Progress? Yes, sir." Or "Cool Seas." I was "Cool Seas." "Yes, sir." We are broadcasting from wherever you are, I'm with you. And he said, "Oh, yeah, Progress, how many men in your band?" "Well, let's see, we have 15 men and a gorilla." "Well, why do you need the gorilla?" "Well, you see, he's the only one who can drive the band bus." And then we had another one with, oh, yeah. He said, "And Progress, do you have any stars in your band?" "Oh, on first trumpet, we had the late, great Fats Oregano, who is no longer with us, but still plays with us out of loyalty." And that was on first trumpet. And on drums, we had Shorty Rogers. And on radar, we had Nick Barada. "You had radar?" "Oh, très nécessaire. You see, he's the one who warns us in case we approach the melody." So we had, lines like that. And then there was Neil Simon. And Neil could write wonderful situations and tremendous, wonderful dialogue. And it was such you had a plethora of genius. They were all Mel Brooks, Larry Gelbart, Neil Simon, Woody Allen. These are all genius. And we had a guy called Mel Stewart, who just was on the typewriter. He did Bye Bye Birdie, he did 42nd Street, he did quite a few shows. And he was just on the typewriter. So I had just an enormous amount of talent. And Imogene would help, and Carl was there. I mean, it was just a marvelous, marvelous array of talent. It was like, it reminded me of the days in the Renaissance when it was painting, not the Renaissance so much as the Impressionistic era, when you had Renoir and Van Gogh, and you had Pissarro, and you had Pointillism, Seurat. You had all these, and they got together, and they learned from each other. They would try this technique, try this technique. And this is what we did. We were all, great performers, and we were all great writers, and we put it all together, and it was like a jam session. It was like, here's a thing. Hey, we'll do this. Oh, wait a minute. Suppose we do this, and then that. Hey, wait a minute. I got another. And you had all these twists and turns and wonderful variations because minds were working. I mean, these guys, beautiful. And I enjoyed working. I mean, it was tough. It was all scripted because you have to know, and they have to know. People, have shots. They got to shoot from this to that. They're following a script. And if you go off, they understand you're going off, but they expect you to come back and then go on again. So what we did was, there was learn the script. And if something happened, then you could live and fill in or do whatever you want. But it was all to fill in and make the show, so it wouldn't stop. And that was a different animal than today. I mean, I can't tell you, you got the immediate laugh because of an audience. You didn't have to wait and you didn't have to wait for a critic to tell you it was good or bad, because when you walked off the stage, you knew right there. It wasn't too hot, it was all right. And you graded yourself by the audience. And they gave you a correct, if it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too hot. And if it was good, they appreciated it. They really did. And the audience was different. Because when you're watching live, when you're watching tape, you're saying, well, you know how it's going to come out. It's going to be, you look at your watch, you go, well, it'll be through in about 5 minutes, they'll wind it up. And you know what's coming. Whereas in live, you don't know what's coming. Anything can happen. A piece of scenery fall, the door doesn't open. Many times the door didn't open coming through the window. And you have to have lines prepared, not prepared ad libs, but you have to be prepared to take in the situation and make some fun of it. You have to. And that's what you do. The show shows the longest sketch we could ever do was a sketch about maybe 10 minutes. That was the longest. 8, 10 minutes, that was the top. But we were starting to do bigger sketches because as you go along, you get bigger ideas, and you say, wait a minute, we can put a dance number in here. We can do this. We can put this. We can make fun of this. We can make fun of, and your ideas start to grow. When you're first starting, you say, well, let's try this, and hey, that worked. Okay, let's try this. Hey, that worked. Hey, let's try that. And then all of a sudden, let's try, and then you open up. You don't open up right away because you got to feel your way. Because we had no lines to go by. There was nothing. Nobody did a review before us with real sketches and real stuff and real production numbers.